Now that I'm back in England, I've given you guys my 5 things that I'm gonna miss about... The fuck is this fly? What are you doing? So I've given you the 5 things that I'm gonna miss most about America. Now it's time for the big dog, the 5 things that I would not miss about America. Now, for all you patriots out there, you American prideful youths and old men and everything in between, don't cry. Yet. I say yet because number 1. Pride. And I'm sure you're just like, Dex, that's not a bad thing. What's wrong with having pride in yourself? I have pride in myself. I love who I am, but not excessively. Americans think their country is the greatest. Nothing can compare. They are number 1. They are the big dog. Which again, is actually pretty true because their military is massive. And as a whole, their country is actually really cool. So, but this also means that they kind of shit on other countries. Now, this is a generalization, okay? Don't take it personally. But I can give one big example. I was at a Nitro Circus in Denver. And on that show, all the American riders come out and all of them were like, yeah, America, yeah! Oh my God. Which is fine. Again, support your country. But then the host is like, and the rest of the world. So, you know, the Australian guy, the guy from Britain, there's a guy from Brazil. All these incredibly talented motorcyclists come out. There was a little contest between America and the rest of the world, and the Americans were going crazy for America. Everyone else were booing them. I mean, come on, why? I just thought it was really odd. There was more applause for the Americans on that contest than when the best rider in the world came out. Do you know why? Because he was Australian. On the show, the Australian guy ripped on the Americans, like, really funny, harsh jokes. I think I was the only one in the crowd who was laughing my ass off, so I thought it was really funny. Then this American guy comes up and he's like, yeah, we're America. Then he dropped the mic, and the crowd were like, yeah, America! Like going absolutely mental. But really, America just got wrecked. They got their ass handed to them by 4 really harsh jokes. Americans do nothing and drop a mic. Back to the point. I know I was in Denver, so you know, apparently there are like a lot of hillybillies and rednecks. No excuse though. Just tone it down a bit. Number 2. The food. Now I'm certain this one's gonna piss people off. There's a stereotype, and apparently English food's really bad. I don't know where that comes from. I'm being serious. I think food is a lot better in this country. I have a theory as to why though. I will say burgers and steaks are better in America. I prefer it for sure. So I'm assuming when Americans go to England, all they probably have is burgers and steak. Could you stick with what you know? I'm the same. I stick with what I know. All I have is pizza most of the time. So I'm assuming they have the burger and steak. They're like, oh, this food sucks, man. And fish and chips, let's just be real here, it's not great. So if you're eating that to try and test out English food, that's not a good thing to do. There's just a lot of crap in the food. I mean, look at me. I've got like a bit of a chin now. I've got my man boobs, my belly. I'm a real man. So it's no wonder obesity is such a big thing in America, literally. There's just so much crap in the food. Bread is like eating cake, essentially. So thanks, America. Number 3. Jaywalking. And if you are English, you'll be like, what the fuck is jaywalking? I'm gonna explain. When you cross a road in England, you can cross anywhere you want, really. In fact, it's encouraged. There's an opening, go for it, mate. That's the mentality here. In America, you can't cross a road unless there's a zebra crossing. If you get caught crossing a road not on a zebra crossing, you can literally get a fine or put in jail, I think, if a police wants to be a massive dick that day. So obviously on my visa, I had to be really careful. I didn't want to go to prison for walking across a road. I'm sure there's reasoning behind it. Something probably happened which sparked it. But as an Englishman, this was absurd to me. I didn't understand it. And I feel really bad for Americans that have to deal with this law. It's also pretty sad as well if you legit did get a fine or arrested for walking across a road. Why did chicken cross the road? Well, didn't in America because you fucking can't. That's actually pretty good, wasn't it? Number 4. Sarcasm, humor, and sensitivity. I put all these 3 things in one because they kind of fall under the same category of things I'm going to talk about. First things first, sarcasm. Americans do not understand sarcasm. Not every single one, but majority of people do not understand it. Now, the thing with sarcasm in England, it's a very strange concept. If you're sarcastic in America, you can instantly tell. Most people that say things like, oh man, that was great, or I love gravy. They kind of put a bit of a voice on, you know what I mean? And even if they don't, you can just tell they're being sarcastic. The way we do it here, we just say it straight. For example, I remember being in the car and someone said something about Beethoven, and I went, who's Beethoven? Obviously I know who Beethoven is, I'm just being sarcastic. But this is confusing, right? Because how do you know someone's being sarcastic or not? You know, honestly, you don't in England. The thing is in England compared to America, you assume people are actually clever. I find in America, people just jump on you and assume you're really dumb. So many times I've been sarcastic, just said something stupid and they're like, you're an idiot, man! What? Are you stupid? So you just come across like an absolute moron. I'm not saying I'm a genius, but I wouldn't say I'm a dumbass either. Americans just do not get sarcasm. But at the same time, it's kind of a good thing because it's funny to mess with them. Even if they do think you're a complete dumbass, at the end of the day, You're getting the last laugh. I don't know why I pointed to my chest. I meant here. You're getting the last laugh in your head, right? Yeah, okay. The same thing kind of applies to humor. Humor's different out there. It's all about yelling and screaming and just constantly talking. Go and watch the show Always Sunny in Philadelphia. In my opinion, that is the epitome of American humor. Don't get me wrong, it's a really great show, but as an Englishman, for example, I can only handle about 2 episodes before it drives me insane. Talking over each other, screaming, yelling, just in your face all the time. That's their humor. I find here it's very monotone. We just deliver lines very, very subtly. The way we talk, a bit more witty and a lot more dry. Now, I'm not saying every American show is like that, but their accents are really loud, so it just comes out that way. You can't really tell when you're watching a TV show because, you know, it's coming through your speakers, but in person, American accents are so loud. I've been told that I'm the most loud person they've ever met in their life in this country. In America, I'm like a little mouse. I'm very quiet. Unless obviously I'm screaming and I'm reacting to something and I've had a bit to drink. But my normal voice, my accent is very monotony and it comes from the chest rather than Americans where they're like wah wah wah. It comes out the mouth a bit more. The last thing is the sensitivity. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, you know, about being politically correct and whatever. But I mean sensitivity in the fact that they can't make fun of themselves. So many times I've made a brutal joke or just said something completely honest to someone and they just get really offended. Like me, I know I've put on weight. I'm a chubby piece of fuck right now. But I can make fun of it. Who cares? I'm a fat fuck. If I said that to an American, they would get really upset. They're not very good at handling self-criticism and making fun of themselves, which is a massive thing in England. We make fun of ourselves all the time. Now, in their defense, I have met people and I have friends in America who are very thick-skinned and they do not care. You can say whatever you want. However, the majority of people I've met are not like that, and as a whole, I feel that's how the culture is. They don't like being made fun of, and I guess maybe it's to do with the pride thing. I don't know. I'm just telling you guys my experience and what I think. You fucking pussies. Number 5. Tipping. Now, it's a big deal in America, I understand that, and people need their tips. I'm not saying get rid of tipping or anything. However, as an Englishman, I mean, I tip when I go to a restaurant, you know, I put a quid down, 2 quid, I don't know. But when they're expecting a 20% tip for a $100 meal, they want $20? Are you fucking kidding me? But it's not just with drinks or restaurants. But they want tips for everything in America. Even just like holding your hand down a road. I don't know why you'd want to tip someone or why someone would ever want to do that to you, but I'm assuming they would want to charge you for that. But as someone who's English and we're just not into the whole tipping thing, it's very odd. I had an argument with a girlfriend when I was in America because I refused to tip more than 10%. We almost broke up because of it, because we were discussing tips and I didn't want to tip more. Tipping is the #1 relationship breaker. That and smashing a face in with a sledgehammer. But at the same time, it also led to one of my favorite things about America, which is a good service. So it's not all that bad. It kind of balances itself out. And that's pretty much it. That's my top 5 things that I will not miss about America. There are a ton more, but those are the 5 that stood out the most, and I really can't be asked to sit here for another half an hour talking about this shit. If you missed my video on my top 5 things that I'm gonna miss about America, click around, cause blah 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 blah. But for now, I'm gonna eat some crumpets, drink some tea, and put a hole in this thing and fuck it till I die.
America, fuck yeah, coming again to save the motherfucker.